Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through all the noise, really give you those essential insights you need, make sure you're truly well informed. Today, we're diving deep into the AFT Dice Season 10 Finals, Week 1. Now, for anyone new, AFT Dice, it's this highly strategic, really fast-paced sport. Control of the dice think momentum, key plays, it's just critical. You get these incredible upsets or, sometimes dominant performances. It makes every finals moment just electric. We got a whole stack of sources here, including a really detailed preview. It draws on like 9 seasons of finals data. Our mission, extract the most important nuggets so you're not just informed, you're genuinely clued in on what might happen this week.
Yeah, what's really cool here is we're going beyond just, who's playing who. We're looking at the history, the performance trends, venue specifics, even past clutch moments, or maybe past struggles, and how they might shape what happens next. We'll look at 4 key matchups, try and give you that data-driven lens on, what to expect.
Okay, let's get into it. First matchup, the first qualifying final. Winners go straight through, losers get another shot. It's a heavyweight clash, Collingwood versus Melbourne, at the iconic MCG. Feels like a classic already. What did the history books, the data, tell us here?
Well, look, on paper, they look incredibly even. Both teams have identical finals win rate, 62.5%. That's across their previous campaigns, 9 seasons worth. But, and this is key, there's a pretty distinct difference when you drill down into their performance at the MCG. That ground, it's almost its own character in AFT Dice, isn't it?
Interesting. So overall record's a tie, basically, but the MCG, that tells a different story. A more nuanced one, maybe.
Exactly. Let's break down Collingwood first. They've had 3 finals campaigns, seasons 2, 5, and 7. Overall record is 5 wins, 3 losses. Okay. But at the MCG specifically, they're 3-2, so a 60% win rate there, their big standout moment. That Season 7 grand final win against Richmond by just 2 points at the MCG. That game was, wow, a real nail-biter. Showed incredible clutch ability, under huge pressure. But you have to weigh that amazing win against another specific MCG game, their 27-point loss to Melbourne in QF2 Season 2. Same ground.
Right, so highs and lows for them at the G. What about Melbourne, then?
Melbourne, okay. They've been in 4 finals campaigns. Seasons 2, 5, 6, and 9. Their overall record, also 5 wins, 3 losses. Exactly the same as Collingwood. However, their MCG finals record is dominant. It's 4 wins, 1 loss. That's an 80% win rate. Pretty impressive. And their Season 6 grand final win against Richmond, a massive 77-point victory, again at the MCG, just highlights their potential to completely overwhelm teams on that stage.
Wow, 80% at the MCG is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's formidable.
But Collingwood did win that tight grand final there, that clutch factor.
How does that fit in? Does it sort of challenge Melbourne's stats, or is it more like an outlier? What does it all mean when they actually face... The data's painting a picture, but what's the synthesis? What's the takeaway? Yeah, that's the crucial question, isn't it? If we connect the dots, Melbourne holds a clear 1-0 head-to-head advantage over Collingwood in finals.
Yeah.
And that's specifically from that Season 2 QF2 win at the MCG. They really dismantled Collingwood that day, and it's not just about the win rate. It suggests Melbourne has a kind of tactical mastery at the MCG. Their success there often comes from really strong second halves. They frequently just blow teams away late in the game. Remember that 63-point second half against Richmond in the Season 6 grand final? Plus, their defense is just robust. They hold opponents to an average of only 81 points at the MCG. Very low. Now, Collingwood, yeah, they can win tight, grinded-out games. But against Melbourne's style at this venue, that grittiness might actually be a vulnerability. We saw that in their previous big loss. Melbourne's approach seems to kind of systematically break down what Collingwood relies on.
Okay, so it really sounds like the data's pointing pretty firmly towards Melbourne in this one. Given all that, what's the forecast, the data-driven prediction for this opener?
The prediction is Melbourne to win probably by 15 to 25 points.
Melbourne by 15-25. Okay. That's a compelling call, really rooted in that venue data and the head-to-head. But it makes you think, doesn't it? How much does one single pass result really paint the whole picture compared to these, broader venue trends? That's something for you, the listener, to mull over as you watch. Right, shifting gears now. From a qualifying final to an elimination final, stakes are higher, do-or-die stuff. This time it's the Brisbane Lions against North Melbourne up at the Gabba. A real test of nerve, I'd say, especially with different levels of finals experience.
Yeah, this matchup really brings up that question, doesn't it? How do teams handle that immense pressure, especially when their finals histories are so different? Brisbane, well, their finals journey has been a bit of a roller coaster, a mixed bag, you could say. They've been in 6 finals campaigns, but the overall record, it's tough. 2 wins, 7 losses. That's only a 22.2% win rate.
Ouch.
Yeah. At home at the Gabba, they're 1-2. So 33.3%. They did have a decent 35-point win against Freo back in Season 2 at the Gabba. But then they also lost by 15 points to Carlton in Season 4, same place. Shows some inconsistency.
Okay, and North Melbourne.
North Melbourne, they're kind of the opposite. Much less finals experience. Only 2 campaigns. Their record is dead even. 2 wins, 2 losses, 50%. But crucially, all of their finals games, they've been at Marvel Stadium. They're 2-2 there. This means they have absolutely no previous finals experience at the Gabba. And that's not just a small detail. It can be huge, considering how different venues feel in AFT Dice.
Right, no previous finals match between these two, so the history is different. How do those, well, vastly different stories collide, especially under elimination pressure? What does the data really point to?
Well, Brisbane's overall poor finals record, that's definitely a worry. It suggests, maybe a historical difficulty in these high-stakes moments. Bit of a mental hurdle, perhaps. But their average score at the Gabba in finals isn't bad. 85.7 points. Respectable. North Melbourne, their even record, it includes some pretty impressive upset wins, like that 8-point victory over Richmond in Season 4. Shows they can pull one out. But that complete lack of Gabba experience, that's a big unknown, a significant factor. Brisbane's familiarity with the Gabba, its specific dimensions, that fast-paced style up there, knowing the angles, how the dice might roll on that turf, that could be a real measurable edge, especially when it's win or go home.
Okay.
It really becomes a question of whether that home comfort can override a shaky finals history.
So the home advantage seems like it could be a big equalizer here, maybe enough to overcome Brisbane's patchier finals past. What's the call for this elimination game?
The prediction is for Brisbane to win.
Yeah.
By 10 to 20 points.
Brisbane by 10, 20. Okay, so for you listening, it poses that question. How much does a team's total lack of experience at a specific ground really hit them in a high-stakes elimination game? Is that home ground advantage even more powerful when one team's never played there before in finals, especially when there's no tomorrow? Okay, our next deep dive, another elimination final. This one feels fascinating, too. Gold Coast Suns are versus Port Adelaide at Metricon Stadium. You've got a team with a really strong recent form, the kind of rising stars, against a storied finals powerhouse, a legacy team.
Exactly. That contrast is what makes this one so intriguing. Recent, almost meteoric success versus deep historical dominance. Let's look at Gold Coast first. Their recent rise, they've only been in 2 finals campaigns, seasons 1 and 9. But their finals record is strong, 4 wins, 2 losses. That's a 66.7% win rate. And in Metricon Stadium, their home turf, they're 2-1. Also 66.7%. That includes some big wins, like beating Geelong by 14 points in the prelim final, PF1 in Season 9. And they even reached the grand final that season. That's a massive statement about how quickly they've developed, how capable they are under pressure.
Huge leap for them. And Port Adelaide.
The legacy. Port Adelaide, yeah, they bring in significant legacy. 4 finals campaigns, seasons 3, 5, 7, and 8. Their record is even stronger overall, 6 wins, 2 losses, a 75% win rate. And they got 2 premierships, seasons 3 and 5. That speaks volumes about their finals pedigree. At Adelaide Oval in finals, they're 3-2. Solid. But here's the kicker, the really undeniable point.
Yeah.
They have 0 finals experience at Metricon Stadium. None. It's not just unfamiliarity, it's a complete blank slate for them at a crucial time.
Okay, so Port's got the higher win rate historically, the premierships. But Gold Coast has that vital home ground edge and really strong recent momentum. What are the key dynamics here, especially when that legacy meets an unknown ground?
Port's overall finals strength, it's undeniable. They know how to win finals. They've shown they can grind out wins like that incredible 1-point victory in QF2 of Season 7. However, their loss in EF1 of Season 8, it shows they aren't invincible, especially in elimination games where, the pressure can get to even the most seasoned teams. Gold Coast's recent growth, though, it's genuinely significant, especially how strong they are at home. And they even managed a really impressive away win, 16 points against Fremantle in Season 9. That adds another layer, shows some versatility. Port's complete lack of Metricon experience, that could be a major hurdle. It could genuinely disrupt their usual high-scoring game plan. They average, 102.6 points in finals.
Wow, yeah.
That unfamiliarity could really throw a wrench in their tactics, force them to adapt on the fly against a team that knows every inch of that ground.
Sounds like this could be incredibly tight, a real nail-biter with so much on the line and such different histories colliding. Who comes out on top in this elimination final?
The prediction leans towards Gold Coast. We think they'll win by 5 to 15 points.
Gold Coast by 5, 15 points. Close one. This really brings up an important question for you, the listener. Can a team's deep finals history, those premierships, really be canceled out by an opponent's hot recent form and a strong but unfamiliar home field advantage? How much does that recent momentum actually count against a legacy of success, especially when the venue itself is a bit of a wild card? Okay, final matchup for week one. The second qualifying final, Essendon versus West Coast Eagles. This one's at Marvel Stadium. This looks like, well, a classic case of vast experience versus a team with very, very limited finals history. Seasoned pros against fresh blood,
Yeah.
a real generational clash.
Yeah, what really leaps out here is just the sheer difference in finals exposure. It's stark. Essendon, they've been in 5 finals campaigns. That's quite a lot of September action. Their record, dead even. 7 wins, 7 losses, 50%. At Marvel Stadium, which is effectively, a home away from home for them, they're also 4-4, another 50%. But that includes a grand final win there, season 4. That's a defining moment for a club, winning it all at that venue. Now, they have had strong wins at Marvel, like 36 points over North Melbourne in the season 4 prelim. But their recent losses there in season 9, they do show maybe some dips in form. They're not unbeatable.
Right, and West Coast, the contrast.
They're West Coast Eagles. Look, they've only been in 1 finals campaign, just season 6. Their record from that single appearance, 1 win, 1 loss, so 50%. And both those finals games were at Marvel Stadium, so they're 1-1 there too. Their limited experience includes a tight 2-point win in EF2, and Elimination Final showed some grit, but it also includes a really heavy 52-point loss in SF2, the semifinal to St. Kilda. Both games at Marvel. It's just a very small sample size to judge their finals capability.
Yeah, the difference in games played is huge. 14 finals for Essendon, just 2 for West Coast. That's a massive gap in high-pressure experience. What does that disparity really tell us about how this qualifying final might play out?
Well, Essendon's deep well of experience, particularly at Marvel, where they've actually lifted the cup, it just gives them a significant edge. You can't really overstate that. Their familiarity, not just with the ground, but with that unique, almost suffocating pressure of finals. So the major asset. They've seen it all before. West Coast. The small sample size, it limits any definitive trends. Sure, the 2-point win shows resilience, maybe, but that 52-point loss, it definitely exposes potential weaknesses when they face tougher, more experienced teams on this stage. The experience factor here, it isn't just about knowing the plays. It's about managing the whole emotional and mental side of finals.
It really does look like this could be pretty one-sided, just based on that history and the experience gap. So what's the prediction for this final game of week one?
Essendon is predicted to win this one. Margin-wise, thinking 20 to 30 points.
Essendon by 20-30 points. Okay, so for you listening, does that sheer volume of finals experience always win out? Or can a team with limited history, but maybe a fresh game plan, some youthful energy, can they defy those expectations in a qualifying final? Can they pull off an upset? It's that classic debate, isn't it? Raw talent versus hardened experience. Right, so we've really unpacked the AFT Dice Season 10 Finals Week 1, drawn out predictions for all 4 games based on that deep historical data, venue trends. Let's just quickly recap those scores. First, Melbourne predicted to beat Collingwood by 15-25 points at the MCG. That's the first qualifying final. Then the Brisbane Lions tipped to get over North Melbourne by 10-20 points at the Gabba in the first elimination final. After that, we've got the Gold Coast Suns predicted to defeat Port Adelaide narrowly, 5-15 points at Metricon Stadium in the second elimination final. And finally, Essendon predicted to handle the West Coast Eagles by 20-30 points at Marvel Stadium in the second qualifying final.
Yeah, those predictions, they're grounded in the venue advantages, the historical pedigree we talked about, offers a pretty compelling data-driven look at what's likely to happen. But here's something for you, the listener, the informed observer, to really think about while you're watching these games unfold. Beyond all the numbers, beyond the past records, what about those unforeseen factors like individual player form just exploding on the day, or a sudden strategic shift from a coach that no one saw coming, or even, just sheer luck, a crucial dice roll going one way instead of the other? How much weight do you ultimately give to the unpredictable in a high-stakes competition like the AFT Dice Finals? That's the beauty of it all, isn't it? You never really know until the final siren.